Hello, everyone, and welcome back. We were on a short break, and I encourage you to go back and take a look at what we just did a moment ago. And from here, we're going to pick up and carry on. And we find ourselves with an aboleth and several other creatures. Did offer an arcana if anyone else wanted to try to get a better understanding.
Yeah. My computer is lagging. I swear I clicked that button a couple times already.
But I see the spells that you dropped in there. Yeah.
I'm not hearing a beep. Normally it beeps when I do this.
Might have to do with the old fashioned.
Uh-oh. So, skill check aside, any arcana is available to have a better understanding. But I will also pick up.
That's real loud, Will.
Sorry.
But the continuation of what seems to be a childlike playfulness.
I was totally muted. Hey, are some of your friends the ones that work on the chains?
They don't like to play.
All
They just stay up there.
work.
Yeah, just work.
Do they ever go in to the whatever's on the through those hallways there?
They do. Well, I mean, they typically come in and out of this space here. Points to the dock. Seem to come down those stairs. But they do walk around inside.
Do they ever,
Sometimes they push the button and turn the gears too.
is there a special way they do it or something special they carry so that whatever's in those gears doesn't hurt them?
I don't know.
Okay.
You want to play hide and seek?
I'm great at hide and seek.
Awesome.
Hey, do you ever hear any fighting inside those rooms?
Fighting. And this is a telepathic wave that everyone hears. It's like a conversation. And I'm going to give each of you the same kind of prompts, part of this telepathic imprint is that it also is able to sense your greatest desires. So Roken. What are some of Roken's greatest desires?
Shiny jewels.
Mm-hmm. Shinies, monies, coin, gem. But wealth certainly is one of those greatest desires. But there is more than just wealth, right?
Yeah, I mean,
It's not the one thing you want most. It's all of your desires. And those the greatest of them.
Okay. Um, like, I feel like ideal scenario for Roku would be like, stealing a ballroom from a prince for a party.
Mm-hmm.
Bejeweled and drunk and stuffed.
Okay. Some ideas there.
Read slaw.
And how about Chippy? Now it knows your greatest. It knows your desires, and it knows your greatest desires. It's not just one.
Well, I mean, much like Wayne, he's got kind of a single focus, although some people might consider it two. He's only interested in figuring out all the magic, but it's more like a game. It's not really something serious. It's kind of a playful, but secondary to that, he does regard everything else as a game that should be played along the way in good measure. All work and no play. I mean, work is play too, but so coincidentally, he's sorry he didn't respond earlier. Yes, he does want to play, but not if the playing means anybody gets hurt. But he absolutely wants to play.
So while I was prompting you with these questions about your desires, none of these are a conversation piece, right? The conversation piece is very much in the, oh yeah, these people went over here, and sometimes it turns. And do you want to play? I like to splash. It turns and splashes water across the dock. And Chippy's Arcana rolls showed up. Nice. I assume it's going to be a lot of them. I'm going to take the first one. And with that, you do get a name for these other things. And these other things you know as an aberration called scum. Scum are a slave species. They're created by aboleths. It's resembles some kind of horrific hybrid of human and fish. They are, humanoid, demi-human, intelligent, right? Have language. It is also telepathic. And you remember something about them having difficulties going without water for extended periods, like They're water creatures. They don't do well when you take them out of the water. They wouldn't last the night. And with those scum, you kind of surmise that these are likely creations of this aboleth. Slaves. And with childlike glee, it flicks some water across the dock a second time and splashes and swims around to the other side. Maybe we can play chase? Didn't intend to grab those two. Oops. Anyway. So you have it seems to be some sort of childlike creature. And Chippy recognized with that earlier arcana, not only did you recognize the scum, but the aboleth. And you know them as like they have perfect memory. Like they are older than the gods and remember everything. So a child seems absolutely counterintuitive to a being older than the gods.
Yeah, that struck me as weird too. Real quick. As you mentioned with the other players that he got like the whole wash of desires, there was one like I didn't mention the like real low end subtext because just a while ago it got mostly satisfied. Is but you know it's been imprinted on him for so long is to like be able to see and interact with his mother. But that's just like the low background static of desire right now because he just did. Thanks, Uptao. And the other thing I wanted to ask, you mentioned like this telepathic wave. We are all connected to the aboleth, not like all in a telepathic pool with each other. Like we can't talk telepath. Okay, just checking. Um, hey, Chippy, you want to help this kid let off some steam? We'll keep poking around, and you got the magic message if anything's up.
Yeah, let's do this.
Great.
So,
hey, kid, what's your name?
Name?
What should I call you?
Well, my friends call me Master, and it kind of nods to the fish-human hybrids.
Hey.
how about Splashy? You like Splashy? Can I call you Splashy?
Sure. Sounds like a nickname.
My name is Chippy. Then we sort of rhyme. I'm Chippy and you're Splashy.
Okay.
You want a different name? How about Gazerblewort? Is that better or worse? Do you like Splashy or Gazerblewort?
And the childlike mind seems absolutely enthralled and entertained with Chippy's attention.
Perfect.
Meanwhile, Alex flies down about 10 feet in front of Splashy and appears and is just paying attention but want it to be visible.
And Wayne is gonna duck in and kind of like give a meaningful glance to Roken and oh, I forgot the NPC's name. And also Tim. Like, shall we? Looks like that problem's handled for now.
So as you split the party, nothing could go wrong.
I'm just imagining the montage of us dying terribly to a trap and the Aboleth finally being like, playtime's over. No, no, no.
Tim will stick with
Chippy.
Roken, as Tim had done before, staying right on your 6, trying to give you a heads up on any magic that you may see. And where does Roken lead?
Since you're working with that part of the party right now, I'm gonna refresh my Roll20 screen because it's acting weird. So I'll probably be out of commission for a second, but you will be busy.
I guess we could
Hope
go
you're
back where they were talking about the room where people go.
Yeah, he sort of like marked out a path for us to whatever makes these things turn, I guess.
So I will go to that path. I'm not quite clear where that is from here.
Went this room, and then this room, and then to this path.
Okay.
So whatever gets us to those points.
All right. So yeah, I will go back to the gross room, and then go check out the door to the northwest. With that.
As you return to the pungent room of vegetation, there was that marked path here on the side that led to this other door you did not check out.
Yeah, where I was headed. I'll investigate the path here. 30. I investigate the hell out of it.
There you go.
Ready in action to attack anything hostile.
Well, with your reliable talent, it's hard to miss, but here you go. And as you
Another gross room.
make your way forward, I'll give you your heads up as you enter into this left side cog. And the room before you has its own kind of stench, an acidic hearth smell comes from this room. And it certainly has the walls covered with the riveted sheets of iron. And the stone floor has a large puddle of gray slime in the middle. And it seems the stonework seems pockmarked. And then there are friezes along each wall depicting 5 black dragons.
Well, this is gross.
That's from each wall, right? The the art piece.
I guess I'll investigate the room. Or was that, or
Okay.
was my role for the investigation for the room?
Yeah, I was giving
Okay.
you your details there, right? So you make the
Okay.
room, and that's kind of the layout, and it has this other entrance off to the side there.
Alright,
And
well, I'm
as
just
you
gonna
pass by,
keep going.
you see that the artwork has like tiny holes in the dragon's mouth,
Hmm.
and this kind of like carved relief.
What if we could take those with us?
How much is that worth?
So yeah, I'll
And
head out this way.
and as you make your way forward here, gives you the next investigate, and I'm gonna go ahead and pop the room, reveal the room. Now Tim is staying right on your side here.
This looks like another god room. Aren't we missing one?
Wayne.
Yeah. Do on the other ones, our spirits have started cackling when we're close. Are we getting any of that?
So as you approach, um, what you see ahead of you is this 7-foot wide iron lectern inside of this rusty iron plated room.
Hmm.
And in the control panel is a gold lever with a star shaped handle, 2 dials in red and blue, and 2 buttons of the same color. Wall engravings behind the control panel show there are 5 groups of circles, a small crystal embedded in the wall under each one. The current configuration shows labeled 3 is glowing green. And there's these 3 pipes that jut out from the wall above the engravings.
Hmm.
Now, there are a number of spirits that do pipe up their voices here. So, Papazatal and Wongo. Wongo suggests smashing the controls. Papazatal asserts that the blue controls are helpful, but the red controls are baleful. At least, I think so. Maybe.
Hmm. I will, I guess, attempt to use the blue controls. All right, I'll give the room an investigate first.
All right.
21.
With a 21, you have a number of things that stand out. Um, so there is a number of these buttons that you see as I laid out, and the controls on the top have no labels, but there was the lighted crystal on the wall there. 3.
Hmm.
And what we have is the blue dial, the blue button, the gold lever, the red button, and the red dial. And we have all sorts of different things to play with here. You know?
I'll push the blue button.
pushing the blue button. And
You
then
knew I'd push things.
it's right there. I'm pushing it. The button.
Wayne has a small heart attack.
I'm gonna do it. So, with that, you have the. Pardon. Getting to the right page here. And pushing the blue button, nothing happens. It depresses. There's no
Okay.
guys.
sound
Well-
or
Well, let's take a breath. Maybe it needs a power source. Maybe we need to cast an identify spell on it before we start pushing. I mean, you're the rogue. I only have suggestions, but
Well, if anyone wants to do that, I've reached the end of what I can do.
I push the button. That's all I got.
I found it.
have we checked for secret doors?
I got a 21 for search the room, but didn't come up with anything.
Okay, because he did say that sometimes people also go around this way from inside. So maybe there's another way through here.
Yeah.
Well,
Definitely.
tell me again, what is this thing on the wall here?
The thing
Got
on the
height.
wall is a wall engraving that shows 5 groups of circles. And there's
Okay.
a small crystal embedded in the wall under each one. It is number 3 that currently is glowing bright green.
Yep. All this checks out.
Though for Roken, looking over the investigate that you have puts 2 pieces of information together and would tell you that the wall groups of circles with number 3 lit matches the lighting of the blue dial.
So 3 of the circles match the lighting of the blue dial.
The third, the lit, the circle sets 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Set 3, the crystal underneath is lit green. It is the same green lighting that the dial has.
Said circle sets. How many per set?
It's 5 groups of circles.
5 groups of circles, and do they all have the same number of circles in them?
Yes.
How many?
3.
Are there different configurations the circles are laid out, like all in a line, like in a Venn diagram, like in different, like are the circles in different places?
So out of all of them, they seem to have 2 tabs set on them apart. And looking across the groupings, you see that the circles seem to be in different orientations of where those tabs are.
Okay. So the configuration is the same. The orientation is different. Like they're all in the same grouping shape, but not in the same facing. Okay. So, and he said that buttons in here turn the gears. Pretty sure that those circles correspond to the 3 gear platforms that one of which I'm standing in still. And it changes something. Well, it looks like, it turns them, the tabs, I guess, are like hallways. I don't know. Like those are the openings. And I guess there's different ways to do them. And I think that's the extent of what I can offer right now. But that is the end of my line of logic for how to proceed with button styles and levers of different colors.
So we should start pressing them.
I hate that idea. But I am.
Between the two of you, you can rub together an intelligence roll or history check to try to understand here.
Hey, Tim, do you have identify? Did we cover that?
I don't. I mean, there's magic here, but I mean, it seems obvious, right? These are clearly some kind of magical controls.
Right.
Yeah.
But I also feel like just because of the last 5 levels of room clearing, room to room in this dungeon, that there's a specific order to do it, and if we don't do it that way, we get vaporized or summon something terrible, or a lot of.
It's a thing. That makes sense. I mean, if you want, maybe we could go in the hallway and I'll use some mage hand to flip some buttons and levers and stuff. That might help if we do it from a distance. Can't you also do that, Roken?
Identify?
Mage hand.
Yeah, I can do mage hand.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and do that secret door check while y'all are. He's basically trying to distract himself from that is definitely gonna get killed.
Do that pushing buttons
Just pushing buttons. I'm not the rogue. They don't tell me how to hunt. Tell them how to push buttons. I hate this. Investigation for secret doors.
Well, I'll try a thing. And he reaches over and grabs the blue dial, and he turns it to the right. And he turns it to the right, and when he lets go, it snaps back in place. And there's the light on the wall moves. Configuration 3, the 4th grouping.
He's just I'm gonna continue to go with my gut and immovable rod the door in, because if there's no other door out and there's only one way in, if those things, if something we do does make them turn and this shuts us off, I don't want to get stuck in here.
Right. So if you wanted to go ahead and maybe ping what you're talking about, are you trying to talk about this?
Yeah, you said there was a door there, right? That Roken opened.
So no, it was kind of
Oh.
like leaving the pentagonal room into a hallway, right?
Oh, okay.
I mean, you did ask, like, there seems to be an irregularity there. Is that a door or a thingy? And really is just an abstract of the drawing.
Okay.
There's nothing. There's not a door.
All right. Yeah, it was just when we went into the room, it was blocked off, so I figured it was. Nope, that was just the revelation. So, okay, in that case, if there's nothing that will obviously block our path, if this thing moves, then, and I've seen it from both sides. Can I tell from the inside of the hall like where it would move from? Like it has the things back there have like the tab, but it doesn't really like. Can I see from the interior as I'm investigating for secret doors, the 22? Like if there's like where it might move from? Is it gonna do it on the far end or the near side?
Well, you just walked through these two rooms here, and you see that both of them have the kind of tabs that are like slightly offset from each other, right? The first one has it's the two corners immediately, and that's this room, right? They have pentagonal corner, adjacent pentagonal corners tabs. This now makes more sense because it seems to be describing the cog orientation, like from an overhead view.
Yeah.
And so now you see that these tabs being, separated by one pentagonal corner. And with those two pieces of input, looking at the mark on the wall, which is now lit up in the fourth configuration, shows it would turn the center cog right one step. That would make this room, the left cog slightly disconnected. You see the tabs don't line up the same way anymore.
Right.
Right. So with your 5, it now makes sense that there are 5 configurations of the center cog. If you were to abstract it into its pentagonal shape, like the map shows us.
Right. And it's only the center one that moves. The other ones don't also change orientation.
They do.
Oh,
Tabs
okay.
would be different. And so if we look at configuration 3, shows the tabs at the the 7 o'clock and the 9:30 for the center. If we're looking at a clock face. The next one shows that it would be the one that's currently lit up after the blue dial. Shows instead of being with the two tabs down this way, it would be this way. So one's up and one's to the side.
Okay.
You see that this configuration is the only one that can, would connect these two tabs in alignment. Configuration 4 shows this cog being rotated and would no longer be connected to this middle room.
But I don't see anything in those hallways like a door that would seal the entrance if they became misaligned.
Nothing that stands out there.
That's very interesting.
If it was misaligned, it would be the cog rotating, and so you think that some of these would be open out to the lake outside,
Yeah.
and some of them would be like facing like a stone wall and not have it pass.
I was looking at the area that I mean, all of the walls had clearance around the gears. Because I
Yeah,
went around. Okay, so
like if it rotates into a new, like there has to be some sort of like movement that's preset. It's not like it free spins, It
Yeah.
would move from a position into a new position. And some of those walls would be, open to the outside.
Yeah.
Right, if it was turned, and some of them, it might be locked against, like you can imagine there's a time when it locks up against the cog and no longer passes. So, but there's a couple different configs here, and nothing's moving, but there is a different light on the wall.
and that was Tim. What did you push to change that light?
He points to the blue dial.
Okay.
Turned it right like this, and then he does it again. And as he turns it, the config on the wall changes from number 4 to number 5. And when he lets go, it snaps back into place. It's like a little toggle switch. You can left one, and it reorients itself. If that makes sense. He slaps it around a couple times, and the lights go on the wall go back and forth, and then stops back at 3. That's where it was 4. So, definitely some kind of control panel that does the controlling of the things.
So yeah, I'm just
When
did
you
my
flew around outside, you did see that there was a third, right? There's a third cog over on the east side, and it has hallways that lead to it, and it has those
yeah.
tabs. So if you want to try to get over there, it's clear that you have to get those from their current position oriented to the middle cog somehow. You'd have to be in the middle cog and then rotate to get into the far one. That's the only way to access those other hallways over there.
Or is there a configuration where that far right cog is misaligned and those hallways would be exposed to the lake?
Looking at the configurations on the wall, none of them indicate that. Where it would be open to the lake and also one tab connected to a hallway.
Well, no, I mean, like, because if those tabs aren't connected to the hallway, there's no walls. Like, if that tab is slid off, it looks like that hallway is also going to be just exposed. Like, assuming it's like this one, and there doesn't seem to be any sort of like door or ceiling mechanism. If that tab comes unaligned, won't that hallway also be just accessible?
I mean, you could go outside and ask them to pull the lever or push more buttons and see what it looks like. I mean, there's been no motion, so this is all
right,
theoretical.
right. Just
Do stuff
from the here, I'm just
sure it does stuff.
I'm just gonna have Wayne make a quick geometry check. Flat intelligence. No, it seems feasible that based on all the angles, if there's one that just pulls that third one out of alignment with the hallways, that both the room and the hallways will be accessible. Yeah. Meanwhile, that 22 search investigation didn't pull up anything. No secret doors. Nothing.
Did not find any additional anythings. It seems like it would be the control panel to operate or change these configs to get further. Now, knowing that magic exists and such, it might be possible to try to approach this with like maybe a gaseous form or, some other method of being less physically constrained. Maybe you could squeeze through the cracks and things or something. Right. But if we're talking about walking, it seems to be that with these 5 shaped things having 5 configurations, and the outside ones are offset for the tabs, there's going to be a lot of times where not everything, nothing's connected all the time.
Exactly.
There would be different things connected at different orientations.
Yep, except for 3.
If you want to get over into 3 from where you're at, then it looks like you would have to do it from the center cog, and you'd have to get it to line up.
Right.
So
Right, but
you'd have
that
to go into the center cog and then do a rotation to get the third cog access.
okay. Well, I'm gonna. So Wayne is gonna head back through here, and head back out to wave at Chippy and the Aboleth as they're playing, and go out to monitor that third gear. And as he's on the way out, it's like, I guess play with the buttons, guys. I'm gonna go monitor and give you feedback of what's going on out here. And I ready in action in case any hostile creatures appear.
As a side note, Chippy is going to do a ritual version of Identify after making sure that the obelisk is okay with it, and then he'll have to touch the obelisk and try to identify if it's been charmed or if there's any magical effects currently affecting it. So since it's a ritual, that's going to take a little while, but he'll try and do it in a playful way.
So it is childlikely happy to play. And with that, you are happily playing with these strange aberrations. Wayne's positioned outside. And Tim goes back to the control panel and flicks a switch and flicks it into position 4. Looks to Roken. All right. You push the blue button. All right. Do it again.
Loop.
And there is a shuddering, mechanical sounding, heavy movement as these stone pillars begin to rotate.
Does it go? Go ahead.
They rotate clockwise.
I will zip under the bridge to hold my position clockwise as this entryway passes and sort of like geostationary orbit it to get a look inside the room.
Uh-huh.
This van.
And I'm going to go ahead and ping here. If this corner, if you see where this pentagonal corner is here,
Uh-huh.
it's going to rotate and it's going to end right here.
Okay.
So it moves one notch to the right.
All right. I'm going to go right here and use my small steel mirror to peek into this hallway.
And this corner here
Mhm.
seems to like mostly occupy this space, having rotated into place. And it seems to be built to like kind of be able to fit this shape as it passes by. So it'd be real tough to try to get anything in there that wasn't gas or fluid.
But it is. I should be able to see through for now, but it also like it's exposed while the turning to you.
Right. And so you have a moment there, and I'll give you a perception at disadvantage.
Regular perception.
Uh-huh.
And that sucked. That's an 8. That's a lot of stuff happening real fast, guys. That was
And you do get a glimpse of a hallway that has a corner and some grime. And you have a glance inside this room as well. And as you glance inside this room, you get a chance to see what is inside here. And you see that this room also has the steel riveted walls. You get a glance of some wardrobes in there. Now, this door is now open to the outside, right?
yeah.
We kind of talked about how this corner is now over here,
Right.
right? So you can freely look in. So I'm just going to give you the full here. So there's a number of wooden wardrobes. Teak, you think? They look nice. And they stand against the ironclad walls. And each of them have a door with a carved image or a scene. You see more of that gray slime on the floor. The room has those two exits that we mentioned here. And there is a metal plate. Like if you stick your head in the room, like not just observing from outside, but take a good look, and you see that there is a set of 5 red crystals and set above the entrance. And they're shaped like drops of blood.
And that's the south entrance or the north entrance?
That's gonna be it's this
The one I'm
wall.
looking. Okay.
It's the walls in this location, yeah. So you see that there are some wooden wardrobe pieces. There are the gems inset in the wall above. And there is, them details inside.
And did everything else also rotate similarly? Like, did they all, like, basically clockwise one angle?
Yes, they all did one.
Still, so this one would go to here. This one would go to here. Okay. Just so I'm tracking, like, yeah. A lot going on, guys.
And with that, you see that there is, some sort of carvings that are on the wardrobes inside there. I had mentioned.
Yeah.
And there is, yeah, this one is now rotated as well, and as is this and such. So now that you find yourself in these new locations, um, for those inside the control room here, the shifting has made your hallway no longer connected, right? As this corner is now here.
They can still hear me through the gap, though, right? Right. You said it's mostly blocked off, but fluid air could pass through, so I could, like, if I go back to their hallway, I can talk to them.
You could certainly make that assumption.
Okay. Well, I'll attempt to do so. As I pass by here, is there anything new and interesting in that room? No demon waiting to just murder us? Okay.
Indeed.
Okay, it shifted. During the shift, we can get into those hallways that go, well, all of the connected hallways. They end up uncovered. I mean, I don't suppose you could dig into the guts of that thing and make it to a half turn. That would be awesome. But
Well, there are these other buttons, and there's a lever.
yeah, I just know that every time we do the thing that is the obvious way to do it, that the bastard that built this dungeon has
Personally,
always put in, yeah, somebody, like, no offense, you, right? That's how you got here.
and as you ponder these controls, we will step back and ponder our hero's current plight and resume that story next week. Now, hopefully, you enjoyed tonight's story, and if you liked what you saw, hit like and subscribe to see some more. You should check out our Patreon to help us do it better next time. And until then, have a good game. Bye, everybody.
Bye.